That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about In the Heights, based on the, of course, Broadway hit play by Lin-Manuel Miranda, which has been adapted by Jon M and Warner Brothers is releasing on June 11th, 2021. It makes a pit stop at the Tribeca Film Festival on June 9th, just prior.
You haven't seen Hamilton.
I have not.
Neither have I. But I'm going to explain the basic story of this film.
Even though
I wasn't able to attend the screening. But just to help you sort of give a quick summary, and then you can expound. Okay, the story revolves around a man named Usnavi.
Played by Anthony Ramos.
He migrated to the U.S. from the Dominican Republic. He lives in Washington Heights, which is an area in New York.
A barrio, yeah.
A barrio.
Washington Heights. Yeah.
What did I say?
They're just nothing.
Oh. Okay. The basic story is he dreams of going back to the Dominican Republic and living the luscious beach life with like a little fruit stand or whatever on the beach. But currently he runs a bodega and owns a bodega in Washington Heights. So the story is about gentrification. There are many characters. There are love stories.
So it opens with...
Well, you can say that, but we got to finish it. So Usnavi has a cousin, Sonny, who works for him, and Sonny's he's a dreamer, so he's undocumented. So he's limited. Usnavi's best friend, Benny, is part of this story. Benny's in love with some girl. Usnavi's in love with some girl that he's never had the courage to talk to. Everything kind of culminates with a major blackout in the city.
Well, there's a lot more that happens. It's not the final culmination, but yeah.
Well, during this blackout, Usnavi gets to interact for the first time really with the girl he's in love with.
Vanessa.
But that doesn't go so well. There's also like a neighborhood grandmother, an Abuela.
Claudia.
She dies during the blackout.
Yeah, played by Olga Merediz, who reprises her role from the stage play.
So the neighborhood people are in mourning over that. There's also a storyline of someone having won the lottery with a ticket that was purchased at Usnavi's bodega. And we find out Abuela was the winner. And she's given the money to Usnavi. So Usnavi uses that money to pay for legal counsel to help his cousin Sonny on a path to citizenship. He also assists the girl he likes in getting an apartment. She wants to get out of Washington Heights. So he helps her get an apartment.
In the West Village?
And she invites him to live with her.
No.
No?
No. No.
I thought you said she invited... What was the thing about her in that apartment?
He gets Daniela, who is the owner of the salon, which is also...
To co-sign.
To co-sign. This salon notably is moving to the Bronx, and Vanessa finds out and kind of more or less asks him to stay.
Asked him to stay.
Yeah.
So the girl he's in love with is like now feeling him because he did something for her.
Well, they're kind of...
You could explain it because I thought that sounded kind of like...
Sure.
And then his best friend, Benny, the girl he's into, her storyline is she was attending Stanford and her dad, played by Jimmy Smits, had to sell half his business to pay, but she's returned because she can't afford it, so he's going to sell the remainder of his business to help her go.
That, and she's feeling isolated and lonely and has experienced some racism on campus.
Which you can get into. So the second culmination is the film opens with Usnavi, like he's on a beach talking to some children about his story. He's set to move to the Dominican Republic. So he's like getting ready to sell his bodega, but his girl has had like a mural painted.
She has designed some fashion wear, and another character named Graffiti Pete paints a mural that emulates the beach in the Dominican Republic he grew up on. And
so he comes to the revelation that like his home is this bodega on this corner, and he's choosing to stay. The end.
But not quite the end. You need to stay through all of the end credits to see a extra scene with Lin-Manuel Miranda playing the Pirowa guy, who you see intermittently throughout. I would say that you don't need to stay for that scene. It does not add anything, but if you are a fan of him, of course.
I was surprised that you, your feedback when you returned from the screening was that you really enjoyed it.
I did like it. Musicals aren't my favorite anyway. I haven't seen Hamilton, and if I'd had been better time management, I would have watched it at least for the sake of comparison. Because musicals, a successful musical to me is one that makes you forget that's what it is, because it's always a bit jarring. It's like being stuck in the manic phase of a mental health disorder and never let. That's what a musical usually feels like to me. So those that usually kind of are consistently playing with the neuroticism of a musical, like Eight Women or Rocky Horror Picture Show, those I gravitate towards more. I think once Jimmy Smits makes his appearance very early on, I was like, okay, like I felt like I was getting on board with it. It's very in earnest and very sincere and also very vibrant. So I think it's a film that feels like it's like you're watching a child be joyous and whimsical and wanting to put them down for it. Other than just kind of enjoying this for what it is. And I do think it does have some moments that are borderline magical. It also has some things that I'm glad I read the synopsis of the play afterwards, and there are some significant changes made. Quiara Alegría Hudes, who, I'm probably saying her last name wrong, who wrote the original musical, made some changes to the screenplay she adapted, such as because the play's from 2008, so working DACA in there, because I don't believe Sonny was an undocumented character in the original, and the lottery ticket is used differently. It's about a little under 2.5 hours, and I'd say it clips along quite well. If I have to pinpoint something I was kind of impressed or I guess mystified by, was Corey Hawkins, who played Dr. Dre in Straight Outta Compton.
That's right.
He is Benny, who works for Jimmy Smith's character and who's in love with Nina, played by Leslie Grace. And
Jimmy Smith plays Benny's biological dad?
No.
Oh.
He works for Jimmy Smith's. Nina.
Oh, I said his dad.
Oh,
I think. I don't know.
Well, we've cleared that up now. There are some weird, because Benny finds out kind of ahead of time that Kevin Rosario, Jimmy Smits, is going to be selling the remainder of his business to this expensive laundromat that's taken over half of the space, and has a confrontation, and there's just all this drama, and that's where we learn about Nina's racist incident where she's searched because her roommate's missing a pearl necklace at Stanford, and she doesn't want to go back, and it just seemed like there was something unspoken about Benny's relationship that they just ignored. And it come to find in the original play, there's some contention about him not being Latinx per se, that they just kind of completely avoid. Like, DACA is something that's very realistic, as in Sonny's a dreamer. Usnavi, who's named because when his parents came to the U.S., they saw a boat that said U.S. Navy, which I thought was really cute. And I really did like Anthony Ramos, except I feel like he's kind of stuck playing a one-note kind of thing, but he's very refreshing every time the film returns to him. His plan is to go back, because as a child, those are his happiest memories, he says, as a child. And he wants to bring Claudia with him and Sonny. And that's how we find out Sonny's undocumented, because one of the notable cameos is Mark Anthony, who's kind of the down-and-out father of Sonny, and basically explains, like, did you never wonder why you pay him only in cash? It just doesn't, I like things to be a little more confrontational, and I think there are things to say other than just the obviousness of what gentrification is going to do to this neighborhood. I even thought that Daniela's salon would play a more integral part in that, and there's a really good musical number set in there that I really quite enjoyed, and that also features Dasha Polanco, who plays Kuka.
Dasha Palante.
You know her from Orange is the New Black. She's the one that has the baby with the guard.
Oh, with that awful blonde.
Yeah, Olga Merediz, who I also really liked, is in Orange is the New Black. And so the focus is Mostly Usnavi, who's Dominican, but there's a smattering of all kinds of. I believe Nina's family is Puerto Rican. Claudia is Cuban. That you get little touches of their own history and their own narratives and we get this countdown as the film starts, 3 days to the blackout, which is a significant part of the story. And this is the point in the film version where Abuela dies, and as the audience obviously knows that she's dying, she's lying down and she's having a flashback to her childhood, as a young woman coming to New York, which I thought was also a really beautiful, vibrant number that I think I just was surprised at finding myself getting emotional in this. Besides Jimmy Smits, some of the other OGs, Daphne Rubin-Vega has always been somebody I've really liked ever since I was probably too young to see Wild Things, and everything about that movie blew my little mind on fire. She's the detective in that, and she's really good in Jack Goes Boating, the Philip Seymour Hoffman directed film. So it was really nice to see her. She gets a couple nice moments. Other than that, Valentina, the Rue girl, has a cameo in her salon, Out of Drag, which I didn't even see his name in the credits. But I think I would have felt more nervous about this film had Jon M directed this before Crazy Rich Asians, which was a film I enjoyed well enough, but his credits previous to that are Gem and the Holograms and a couple of Step Up films, and Now You See Me Too and G.I. Joe Retaliation. So this is kind of a lovely change of pace for him. I think you can see an homage to something like Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. I just don't think it pushes as effectively in the direction of something like that film did.
What would you give it?
I think 3.5 out of 5 is fair. If you like musicals, of course, this is right up your alley. If you don't, I'd say this. Everybody's talking about how this film is kind of revitalizing the energy we need, getting back to the cinema, and blah blah blah. And it very much is that. It was a transportive experience that you will leave the cinema feeling good about, I think. And there really is nothing to complain about other than that. It's just, it doesn't go as deep as you might like, but maybe that's okay.
I've heard that before. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Toodaloo.
Bye.